Hey guys, welcome to CataCast, the podcast for the Catalyst clan for Destiny. A little bit of an introduction about Catalyst. Catalyst is a clan for Destiny on PS4. We will be a clan designed around playing together, both in co-op and competitive environments. Our goal is to have a reputation of helping other players and being an elite force to deal with. There's a traditional guild ranking system here, and hopefully we will eventually move to a cross-platform clan, but for right now we're just sticking with PS4. As far as who's speaking today we have both myself, Prime, and Arrow. My name is Prime. I'm your host for CataCast. A little bit about myself. I've been a hardcore gamer since 2007. Spent a lot of time with World of Warcraft, SWTOR, and logged a lot of hours on various Call of Duty titles, and a lot of Halo. I've been a guild leader in multiple MMO guilds, and I'm the current clan leader of Catalyst. Joining me today is Arrow, and he's going to introduce himself.
Hi there, this is Arrow. Been playing games since the NES days, with the first game being Contra. I'm a very big, all-around video game kind of guy. Love every genre out there. I've invested a lot of time playing Halo games, Call of Duty games, a lot of Counter-Strike too. So you can tell kind of a competitive person here. I've only been a clan leader in Counter-Strike, running practices, developing team strategies and tactics, but I do love all games out there, especially if they have a good story. It's gonna be really fun doing this. Hopefully you guys like it.
Okay, so today we're going to be going over the Bungie update for October 11th. Arrow is going to take care of that, talking about some competitive multiplayer, damage feedback, what the testers are doing in Venus, and a little bit about the hand cannon that's been discussed a lot with the devs. Myself, I'll be going over the IGN Pubcast with Dave Dunn, the Bungie head of art, including his single-player experiences and some confirmations that he let maybe slip when he was doing this interview. And after that, both myself and Arrow are going to be going over our weekly forum discussion topic, talking about a level cap in Destiny and what we think about that. After that is a wrap-up, and let's get it started. Go ahead, Arrow, with the Bungie update for October 11th.
So there were quite a few things that they tackled in yesterday's Bungie update. The Bungie testers' progress was wiped because of a new build of the game that was recently finished. Now, Deej did mention that the character wipes will only be performed in studio, so it kind of sucks for them that they have to kind of start over, but at least they have a new build to play with. Internal testing competition was talked about, in which employees and testers would play one another for the title of this thing called Weekend Champion. Has a trophy and all that stuff. Every week they kind of just pass it around in the office to the winner of the particular match, or I don't even know how they do it, like if it's like a day or not. Now, they interviewed senior designer Josh Hamrick, who was the recent winner of the weekend competition, and from what he said, it seems like Destiny will play and feel like a Halo game in terms of movement and certain play mechanics. He attributes his success in free-for-all to being patient and selective when choosing his battles, as any free-for-all player should. He also uses grenades offensively and defensively when attacking and retreating, just like in Halo. That's kind of that Halo feel compared to other games that you play, like Call of Duty or whatnot. The way you move and the way you attack and play defense would be just like Halo. Free-for-all has been confirmed, as I just mentioned, as one of the modes of competitive play. Not a big surprise there, but it's always good to get that confirmation. I'm very confident that this would include classic modes like Capture the Flag, Domination, Team Deathmatch, since they've confirmed an arena-style kind of battleground. Deej confirmed that they've also updated damage feedback enough so that you're not oblivious when you're taking damage. There's no further details on whether that means you'll just see flashes of red on your HUD when you're taking damage, or if they'll, include something new to the final build. Now, moving on, testers have been spending much time running missions on Venus to levels of polish. Making sure that Venus would be a planet where you visit again and again is one of the goals, but I think they're testing for clipping, freezing, maybe texture pop-in, as well as massive frame drops. I'm sure the game content is locked down at this stage of development. They could polish in the game and already getting ready for the beta release.
Alright, so next we're going to start talking about the IGN Pubcast with Dave Dunn, head of Bungie Art. Some of the key points that he mentioned, most of it was about his story with Bungie and how it came along, but some of the key stuff about Destiny that he talked about was his single-player experience. While he's been playing the game, he's not much of a competitive gamer. He would be going around doing his missions and everything like that, and he'd come across this ridge or something, and one random player might come up and help them kill an enemy and stuff like that, and then they do their emotes and everything, and then kind of move along. He didn't really go into what kind of interactions you can have as far as trading or anything like that, but he did talk about the novelty of being able to interact with that player on a per instance basis as far as working through a firefight or something like that, and then just moving on. Something that's really unique to gaming right now. He also talked about seeing fire teams, full groups that were moving along in the same area as him. So it's not necessarily just individual players that you will see and group together with. You can also see other groups. One thing that he did talk about is that there will definitely be, and this has already been confirmed, but there will definitely be individual loot streams, which is a huge deal in any kind of multiplayer game, because everybody hates ninja looters. Other stuff that he confirmed in the pubcast were that spaceships can be named, which is awesome. I'm already thinking about names for my spaceship, and I'm sure Arrow is too. Planets are not factually accurate, but adjusted to enhance the fun factor. That means that basically, yes, we have enough information about the planets that in real life, what they look like and everything like that, and they could make them exactly like they are in real life. However, that would not make for a very fun, playable game because of how it worked out with development. I'm fine with this. I'd rather have a fun game than a perfectly accurate game. I think this is going to be much better than if they actually went by the factual representation of the planets. He answered a question about invisible walls. They do exist with quotation marks. I'm sure it's more going to be like you can't get past this really high hill or go across this river or something like that. But he also emphasized that the areas are going to be extremely, extremely large. It should not be a big deal for explorers to have plenty to explore in each area before having to move on. That's about it for the pubcast. He answered a lot of questions. He provided some good insight into a day in the life of Destiny. Next, we're going to go into the forum discussion topic for this week. This week's forum discussion topic comes from Destiny 2014 Now's topic, the poll, max level cap in Destiny, basically asking what everybody thinks the max level cap will be in Destiny. Arrow, the question that we're going to discuss now is whether myself and Arrow think there should be a level cap, how it should work throughout the 10-year series, and how it will affect weapon gear and gear leveling. So, Arrow, what are your thoughts on this?
Really hard to determine. I mean, I think there should definitely be a level cap, especially with an arena PvP in the game. The level cap they decide on should depend on how the weapon's leveling system works, actually. It's weird because the Thunderlord, I think in the trailer that they had at E3, there's a level 200 weapon, so I'm not sure exactly how that works in relation to your character level. But caps could be raised as more DLCs are released. It could be more difficult for Bungie to combine Destiny with a sequel, like the people from playing the first game, and if like a Destiny 2 were to ever come out, how are they going to... does that mean everyone has to buy that in order to continue playing and just be stuck on playing Destiny 1? It really depends on the leveling system of the weapons, and we'll just have to wait for more information later on.
Yeah, I mean, I know we're going to have to wait for more information, as I've already drawn my conclusions on how it's going to work out. And me being from RPG land, I think personally, the way I see it is each named game, Destiny 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, however they're going to work it, is going to work like an expansion pack, where they increase the level cap, introduce new content, new worlds, maybe new character classes or new races or something like that. That's going to be your big major updates. Now, they've also confirmed Comet DLC. They're called Comets, and they're supposed to be happening once per year. And to me, that's like a patch release. It's going to be a major content update, but it's not going to increase level cap. It's not going to introduce new classes or anything like that. It's just going to add more onto the game. And with that, that's going to be your standard level cap.
I think the only problem with that is generally gamers of console are used to with the new release, they would be used to graphical enhancements and a big overhaul after a few years. Games like WoW, they never really have to worry about that. I've seen some enhancements in graphics here and there at new areas, but if the game is going to be like that in 10 years, how it'll just look like this now in 10 years, I don't know how customers or fans will be like if they'll be too happy about that.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult, but with the implementation of MMOs on consoles and everything, it's going to change the way the gaming community operates.
Oh,
I
yeah,
think
that's true.
I think they will be able to update the graphics pretty good because they got a brand new engine and they got 10 years to work this engine and improve it for Destiny. So I think they're going to be doing some more graphical upgrades. It might not be top of the line 10 years down the road, but I think it'll be able to hold its own.
I see. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, now we do live in a digital age where you could download like a full game and have like the graphics right there. So it would make sense if they go full digital or if you just install the game. But yeah, it's just going to be kind of hard for the older gen consoles. You know what I mean? Like the 360 and the PS3.
Yeah,
they're going to have to try to
honestly don't see them making it past Destiny 2, if that. No offense, I love my 360. I was a hardcore 360 fan and everything like that, but I don't see them keeping up with the way that the next gen is going and the way the gaming community is going in the future.
It might just make people want to buy the next gen systems just to get the new Destiny 2.0 or whatever.
Yeah. Oh, the other thing about my leveling system with weapon and gear leveling, I hate to bring this back again, but again with RPGs, you usually have a separate leveling system for weapons and gear leveling. And basically, the more experience you have with that weapon, the more you use it, the more you get experience on that experience bar. You get to level it up and upgrade it and everything like that. That's how I think it's going to work. And when you mentioned that the Thunderlord had a weapon level of 200, to me that's like WoW's eye level system for their weapons. You could be a level 90 and be able to use a weapon that's level 502 because it's a weapon level completely separate. It's like scaled you'll have level requirements like nobody but a level 90 can use over a 500 weapon level or something like that. Just throwing out an example. That's how I see it.
Yeah, but the big question is how the leveling will work with matchmaking as far as competitive gaming goes. Like,
yes, that's gonna be tough.
Will your gear give you like a competitive level? Like all your gear combined, would it give you a set number, and that's how they matchmake you, or will all the gear just be kind of stripped of its overpoweredness and just you just play in the basic terms of Halo, where you just have a gun and that's your gun, and it's all about skill? I
really hope not, because that's going to take a lot of uniqueness out of each character, and I know they're really harping on uniqueness of each character. I mean, yeah. I understand wanting an even playing field, which is where I think like level brackets or something like that will come into play to keep it relatively even. But if you want uniqueness in the players and stuff like that, you gotta have some kind of variance in there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just worried about all those twinkers, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
they're just gonna grab all the best stuff and just, start playing low-level characters. Like, and that's another question, if we're gonna be able to transfer our weapons over to other characters, or if we're gonna be even able to make new characters, or multiple characters,
I hope we're gonna be able to make multiple characters, because I want to make each one of the classes.
Yeah, I don't want to be stuck with just one guy. That's kind of boring,
Yeah. Other than that, though, I think what they could do is, again, taking something from RPGs, is the kind of the binding system. All major MMORPGs have the binding system where it's like, if you use this item on as equipment, then you bind it to your person, and then you can't trade it with other players. However,
I agree with that.
Yeah, if you don't use it, but you loot it, you can trade it with other players. So it makes it's a great system for trading and everything like that. I think if they implemented a binding system like that, it would work really well.
Yeah, it's good that they have a city where you can, socialize trade, like a whole marketplace.
Oh,
maybe, I don't know if they're going to have an auction house to avoid that whole Diablo fiasco that's still in everyone's head right now.
Oh, the online auction house?
Yeah, I mean, even like if it's all in-game currency, I think it's bad for the game. I think people should be able to find their own loot and, have that feeling of getting something awesome by yourself instead of having to just farm for money.
Well, I mean, I think what I remember Bungie saying that they were hiring an economist, so there's going to be some type of in-game economy, player interactions, and everything like that.
Uh-huh.
So I don't know if it's going to include an auction house or something like that, but I want to say I'm probably 90% sure there's going to be some kind of interplayer trading.
Yeah, as long as you can trade for money, I mean that's okay. But if you're gonna have to do an auction house, and the worth of a weapon or gear would be kind of spiked up because of the popularity of it or whatever, that's what I'm afraid of. I don't want to be ripped off just because something looks awesome but it really sucks.
Yeah, I don't blame you there. I think the big thing though is that's going to keep an auction house at a reasonable in-game economy is whether I don't think that they're going to have crafting systems, and when they don't have crafting systems in there, then it's just going to be what you loot, you bring in, put into the auction house instead of putting in materials that you use to craft and putting in materials that you use to farm and everything like that just to make money. No, it's going to be more like, hey, I got this stuff while I was out in a mission. I don't need to use it, so I'm going to toss it in the auction house, see if anybody else wants it. I think that would be a little bit more reasonable than how, say, WoW has it.
I wonder if you're going to be able to trade stuff, even though you leveled it up. Like, if you traded it, does it reset, or does it kind of stay where it is?
That depends. I mean, going back to the binding system, if they have a binding system, if you level something up, you're probably not going to be able to trade it. Yeah. But if they decide that they are going to let you trade something like that, I imagine they probably would have it reset just to make it even playing field for people. Because, say, you level up a weapon to level 50, just toss a number out there, and your buddy's only like a level 10, and you give him your level 50 weapon, and he starts playing competitive multiplayer with it, and he just owns everybody's faces because he's got this level 50 weapon that does so much more damage than anything else.
Yeah, that's going to be pretty interesting to see what they do. I mean, everyone's talking about just gameplay video, and we're talking about like gear and all that stuff. So
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of balancing issues. Whenever you throw multiple players in there and everything like that, there's always going to be balancing issues. And I trust Bungie to be able to figure out the best way to do it, but it still worries me a little bit because nothing's ever going to be perfect.
Cool. All
right, I think that's about it. Time for the wrap-up. Go ahead, Arrow.
No, just really excited for the game. I haven't been following this game from the beginning. I mean, I've been excited about it for a while, but ever since the E3 trailer came out, I've been just kind of just scouring the internet for any information out there. With the release of the PS4 coming out, we still gotta wait for that thing to come out before this game comes out. So hopefully the beta will hit. I'm gonna say I think April. No, that's part of the game when the game's gonna come out. The beta is gonna come out February. Putting it out there right now. It's going to come out February, maybe even January. I mean, it looks like they're pretty good, pretty done with the game. Just a lot of polishing, and I think they're just going to have to worry about infrastructure of the actual online system. That's what they have to really worry about. They don't want to go through that GTA Online fiasco.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to call my dates. Beta release is going to be over Martin Luther King weekend. The January 18th through the 20th, somewhere in there. As far as release date for the game, I'm going to call a Tuesday, March 4th, 2014, because then you got then the 3-4 adds up to 7, and you know how Bungie is with 7. So that's my call for the release date of the game. However, they could go with a Thursday release of April the 3rd, and then you're going with the 7 and stuff like that. But I'm thinking, since most games are released on Tuesday, I'm hoping for a March 4th release.
Yeah. Do you think there's going to be a delay at all?
That depends. I mean, if things keep going as smoothly as they're sounding with the Bungie updates and everything like that, I don't think there's going to be a delay. But if there is, I see it maybe pushing it back into June or July. If they don't get it by March, April, I see them probably holding off on it until July.
Cool. That's what I like to hear. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. We hope you've enjoyed our show as much as we did getting it out to you.
All right, our next CataCast, we're not sure exactly when it will be out, but it should be out probably next week. We're going to go over, again, the Bungie update and hopefully the Bungie podcast. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you Starside.